Shields up, ready up!
Okay, I'm here with the Wyze Sense V2, and what I've made is a outdoor cover for it. This is a little bit different than my first one for the V1. It's not designed to completely prevent water from getting in. It's more of a cover just to keep any direct weather from getting to it. So the sun and rain and stuff, it should protect it from that. And the reason why I wasn't as crazy about this one is because they did a much better job on the sensor itself to prevent moisture from getting in. And I'll splice in a video of a test that I did to show you what happened. Okay, I've decided to conduct a little experiment here. So I took the board and the battery out, and I went and got a few things to test how water resistant this is. So what I've done is I put a few screws in here to weigh it down, and I'm going to stick the sponge inside of the part where the battery would go. And when I put this back together without the board, and this sponge is one of those compressed sponges that I've used to make water sensors. It doesn't cover the whole thing, but it'll be a good indicator. And then I'm going to put it back together, and I'm going to submerge it. That's why I have these screws in here. I'm going to submerge it in a container of water for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so. And we'll see what happens, and I'll update you when I'm done with that.
A few moments later.
Okay, it's actually been like an hour and a half. I had some other stuff come up, but let's see. Take this out. Well, it still sounds dry in there. So, oh, well, I guess I'll dry it off first. Towel here. Okay. Go ahead and pop the back off. And there's a little bit of moisture in here that might have just been from when I pulled this off. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like it got a little wet there. So inside there looks pretty dry. So I think I would say that submerging it, probably not a great idea. But that if you wanted to place it outside, I think that it'd probably do okay. It looks like it would be fine. I mean, don't say, oh well, Drew said so, but do it at your own risk. But I think I'd probably do it.
Back to the future.
But there is a rubbery gasket on the back plate, and there's also a rubber gasket on the inside here, and as well covering the button. And this hole right here is not actually a hole, there's a clear piece on the other side. So they did a pretty good job of preventing water from getting in the first place. So rather than try to do that myself, I just thought, well, if water has just a hard time getting to it, then this can do a good job of preventing the rest. So how this works is you would mount it, and I have a little wood block here to show this. So you'd mount it, and I've got black and white, but either one, they're the same. And so that just slides right in there. Now to get it out, you just kind of have to, there we go. It's hard to do with the camera in the way. But yeah, so you'd slide that in there, take this, slide it on top, and it clips down. Now, the only real way for water to get in is kind of right here, but there is that lip that goes up about 3 to 4 millimeters, which isn't a ton, but again, it shouldn't, that'd be pretty hard for stuff to do. But if it does get in there, there's a little bit of a drainage, and it's sloped towards that way. Also, the sensor does not sit on the bottom. It just kind of like hovers above above this. So even if water was to pool in here a little bit, which I don't know why it would just drain out and the sensor wouldn't be affected. But even if it did pool up a lot, I don't think it'd be an issue. and you'll see that for this other footage. So, but I would recommend that with this portion that you mount this side on the non-moving. So if you have like a gate, I would put it on the post that the gate is connected to rather than the gate that's swinging. This, I mean, it locks in pretty good, but yeah, I think that this other part for the magnet is better. So this would also come with this magnet portion. And how this works, so you just take the magnet and you can pop off the back, and then you can screw up this back and then just clip it on. And if you ever need to take it off, it actually comes off relatively easy.
Well, what should I do then?
I don't know. Why don't you just watch me and make sure I don't do anything stupid, okay?
I think this one actually is an earlier prototype that is sized a little bit wrong. Needs to be a little smaller, but I think when it's actually screwed, it doesn't flex as much. So I'll test that out. Don't worry, you'll get one that works. And if you don't, then you tell me and I'll fix it.
Where were you on that one?
So yeah, I would put this on the moving portion just because it's less likely it to fall off, and then if it did fall off, you really can't damage the magnet. So, but that's basically it. So, yeah, it should protect it from, you know, heavy storms or any kind of UV radiation. These are printed in PETG, which is supposed to be good at that according to my research. And it would come in black or white, and you could paint it whatever you want to match your gate. And it should be pretty easy to change batteries and stuff because, like I said, it just kind of slides in and out. Looks like this white one's a little bit looser. Yeah, so you just kind of pop it out. I do recommend that with pretty much everything I do not like the double-sided or foam tape, so that should be removed. And then it will slide in easier. I think you can get it to fit, but it's not going to be a good fit. So yeah, that's that. I'll be posting the Etsy listing. That'll be in the description. And if anybody has any questions or comments or anything else, let me know. And I'll be also putting out another video soon of some revisions to that button that I posted last week or so, and some other ideas too. So stay tuned. Thanks.
The barrier is pure energy. It's unbreachable.